first, Jenny Crisis is the latest Century baby, born on the stroke of midnight New Year's Day 2000. She is the spirit of the 21st century. Century babies are born at the beginning of a new century that eventually grow up to have like some superhuman abilities. Typically, their job is to change the world, and they don't usually age past their 20s. Jenny is taking her role as the 21st century baby very seriously. She will leave this century better than she found it. At first, she did do more harm than good, simply because she didn't know how important she was. She would have panic attacks and then some catastrophe would happen. Eventually, she put the pieces together and decided to take some time to herself to sort that out. Like most century babies, Jenny is abnormally strong and can listen to pretty much the whole world, enabling her to locate those in trouble no matter where they are. She can fire blasts of emotional energy and make those around her feel what she feels. This year, Jenny had a bad breakup and accidentally caused the world to break for 2 days. Then the outsiders showed up to neutralize her. Jenny proved that she wasn't a threat though, and she is now continuing her journey of self-discovery, and she debuted in February of this year. But speaking of the outsiders, they are pretty new too, technically. The outsiders operating right now are the latest version of the team, Outsiders 4. The trio is Luke Fox's Batwing, Kate Kane's Batwoman, and Jaquita Wagner's drummer. The characters have all been around for a while. It's their team up that we've never seen before, and they do work quite well together, if I do say so myself. Particularly, I like Drummer's story. I think it's quite interesting. She is a refugee from a universe that was destroyed, but she survived because her invulnerability applies to continuity too. Outsiders Group 4 debuted at the end of 2023. Fleur-de-Lis has been brought back to the main continuity. She is French, which I'm sure you guessed. She works with the Justice League Europe as a mercenary and covert operative. She has enhanced abilities due to the cybernetic enhancements she's received. Her training turned her into an expert marksman and martial artist. She technically first debuted back in the 80s, but only had like 8 appearances. Now it seems she is getting some time in the spotlight after re-debuting in December 2019, and she has added 4 more titles to her name. That might be it though. She looked like she was pretty out of the game after Superman and the Authority 4, but we'll see. You never know. Everybody always comes back. There is a new version of Bruce Wayne that actually went to therapy. I know, I can't believe it either. He exists in Batman Gargoyle of Gotham's universe, so that is Earth 46. This comic is quite violent, so it's labeled 18+, but the story is really interesting, and it introduced a brand new villain that's very creepy, plus it sent Bruce Wayne to therapy. But even though he went, it doesn't mean it went well. The therapist in question might not have had the best intentions. Were they the one that put the idea of Batman in Bruce's head? We don't know yet, because they disappeared and took all their client records with them, leaving Arkham Asylum to rot and decay. I think the mystery is super compelling. The villain is ruthless, and the art is really fun. Every time Bruce Wayne's face is out, he is voguing. I love this comic. I love it. However, it's been coming out too slowly for my tastes. Only 2 issues are out, and it's been months of waiting for the next one with almost no concrete release date in sight. So I need everybody to get into their Gargoyle of Gotham era, because I can't have this getting cancelled. Thank you, team. Marilyn Moonlight is next. She was a vigilante from the Wild Wild West back when Metropolis was just a little frontier town. She was the protector, essentially. At first, she was just a regular citizen, but then this outlaw rolled into town causing trouble. He was defeated by 2 people from the future, a man who could fly and a woman on a glowing horse. Of course, those future people turned out to be Superman and Marilyn herself. Marilyn saw the mysterious woman and was inspired to protect the little town, becoming the spirit of Metropolis. Behind every strong woman is herself. Marilyn lived a long life and passed peacefully, surrounded by love, but then of course that can't last. There is no peace for heroes, not even in death. She was resurrected as a ghost, and for her troubles received light-based powers that work best when manipulating moonlight. There is a catch: she can only exist in the moonlight, so only exist in the dark. Marilyn dropped in early 2023, and I hope they find ways to keep bringing her back, because I think she's really cool. Jarro is a little star with big dreams of becoming Batman's favorite Robin ever. He is so adorable. I want one. He even has his own little Robin suit. Jarro was created by Batman from a sample of Starro, but he is a good little guy through and through. He does call Batman dad, and the two share a very special bond. He was raised to help the Justice League, and he was trained to fight. Just because his limbs are a little shorter and he's a star doesn't mean he can't hold a blaster. They can also turn into a larger version of themselves, known as the Conqueror. In that state, they release spores that latch onto a host to control their mind. Batman had to talk Jarro down when they got into that state in Justice League v4-29. Jarro is also capable of flight, regeneration, and is actually a certified genius. The brilliant little star debuted in late 2018. Elizabeth Marston Prince. She's an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment. She is new and not part of the main universe. Elizabeth is from the Wonder Woman Trinity universe, and she is Wonder Woman's daughter. The universe is a possible future, and there, Elizabeth grew up alongside fellow super kids Damian Wayne and John Kent. There were a few times the trio went on missions together as kids, defeating Killer Croc and visiting the moon. When she grew up, Elizabeth officially became the new Wonder Girl, but later decided to go by Trinity. Trinity is still pretty young and likes to mess with her friends, racing them or making them all go on a mission to a Greek cave where their tolerance for pain, honor, and skill are tested so they can ultimately enter the jail where the Sovereign was held. Two very different activities, but one thing remains constant: she messed with the boys. Elizabeth is her mother's daughter. She trains like her mom, leads like her mom, is strong like her mom, and is immortal. Elizabeth is pretty cool on her own, but the coolest thing about her is she is the first holder of the 3 lassos of fate. There is the gold lasso, the lasso of truth, a black lasso, the lasso of lies, and a silver lasso, possibly the lasso of secrets, but we don't know quite yet. A series of bad decisions led to Vanadia being remembered for being a villain and not a hero, even though she trained her whole life to fight for good. Vanadia is her vigilante name, but her real name is Vanessa. Vanessa grew up the way many of us probably did, wanting to be a superhero, but she trained her whole life to get herself in peak physical condition to eventually fight crime. At 18, she made her costume and set out to make the world a better place. She signed up for a post-human project being done by Star Labs. It promised to give people superpowers. Technically it did. However, the substances they used to achieve this affected the human body negatively, and Vanessa had a heart attack. But here's the thing, for these trials, she had to sign a lot of paperwork, and in her excitement, she didn't read it very well. So she signed something that said that if she were to pass, her brain could be taken out of her body and used somewhere else. Her brain was put into a robot designed to destroy the Titans. Robot Vanessa was told the Titans were actually evil imposters, so she fought them until Cyborg hacked her systems and Raven destroyed her. You either die a hero or have your brain harvested for evil because you didn't read the fine print. I'd like to remember Vanessa as a hero though, because she did do her best. Up next is the new Wonder Girl, Yara Flor. She is an Amazon of the Amazon. There have been Wonder Girls before her, but Yara debuted in 2021. Her mom was an Amazon who ended up in Brazil, and while in Brazil, she fell in love with a local deity, and then we got Wonder Girl. Yara was born in Brazil, but didn't grow up there. She was raised in Boise, Idaho, after her mother died. At 21, she traveled back to Brazil and quickly stepped into hero shoes, saving people from burning cars and meeting mermaids. She also ends up on Mount Olympus and received a Pegasus named Jerry. It's hard to see other people living your dream. Yara's powers include generally being a superhuman, but she is also capable of currently limited hydrokinesis. Part of her various training led her to being a master in archery, war, horseback riding, combat of all forms, and swordsmanship. Yara eventually joins up with the Justice League and has also fought alongside the Wonder Woman family. When Dark Crisis rolls around, she is offered a spot on John Kent's new team, which she actually rejects at first, but then Titan Tower is attacked and she reconsiders John's offer, ending up helping the team out because, you know, she's amazing. And finally, Olivia Desmond has barely graduated from elementary school and is already punching demons through walls. This little powerhouse goes by Nightbuster and debuted in November of 2022. She is the daughter of Blockbuster, and he is an awful father. He sold his soul for intelligence, but when his daughter was born, he renegotiated so that her soul would be taken if he were to die. That time came when Olivia was in like maybe 3rd grade. The demons came for her. However, Nightwing stepped in. Nightwing is Olivia's dad's worst enemy, and Olivia is Nightwing's biggest fan, and I love that. Olivia had been living with Raven for protection after that whole demon debacle, but then another demon came for her. She punched him through a wall, and then she was transferred to the care of the Amazons for her safety, and truly the safety of demons everywhere. As she is being left in the care of the Amazons, Nightwing asks her if she has thought of a code name yet. Remember, she loves Nightwing and rightfully hates her dad, so she combined their names because she thought it would annoy her father, and that's how we got Nightbuster. You can tell she's going to grow up to be trouble, and I can't wait to see her journey progress. But that's it, that's all. See you later. Bye.